Okay, and we're live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Open Mic. It's Season 2, Episode 23. It's BP Talk Back, and it's time for, as ever, the a wrap-up of the week's updates and the week's releases and entertainment in BP land with you, the community. Hello, guys, on the panel.
Hello.
Hello.
The community of 4 people. Let's do this.
Okay then. So there's plenty of slots available at the moment. Yeah, okay. I'm a bit, even myself, a bit late to start today. I'll pop the link up in the chat and that sort of stuff just so people have got it. Feel free if you've got a microphone, or even if you haven't, you could probably come in and then obviously you can type in the chat box and that sort of stuff and we can bring up your points. So don't be shy. Come and join in. So what do we get this week then? So I suppose the first thing to talk about is probably FM, the latest piece of the FM update, which was obviously the deletion of the 102s and the inclusions of the 103s. A lot of 103s, wasn't there?
Yeah, too many 103s. It was like 103s everywhere, not a 113 in sight.
Yeah, interesting, wasn't it?
I guess they changed the spawning level. Did they? I mean, it feels like they did because I would always spawn 113s and I spawn more 103s than 113s, but my base had to go and look around for 113s and kill those off.
Hey Judge, how you doing?
Hello.
I'm slightly soft. We can't hear you, buddy.
You might want to tweak your microphone settings.
Yeah, just check the settings at the top and make sure you're on.
Hello.
But yeah, hi there. How you doing, buddy? How have you found the adjustments to the targets this week for the FM? Did you manage to have a look at the 103, or did you avoid it like the plague?
Yeah, quite easy.
Yeah. I must admit, the thing I've noticed with the 103s, as you were saying there, Peter, was I think every time a 113 was obviously popping up and then being killed, then there's a 50-50 chance of it getting replaced with either a 103 or a 113. And obviously, as a 103 pops up, people go, "Oh, I don't want one of those because that's one of those blitz ones. So I'll go and find another 113." And then ever declining circles, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
In my sector where I am at the moment, it looks like whenever I kill a 113 or 103, I just end up having 87.
Oh right. Oh okay. Well, that's even worse then.
Weird.
I suppose if the bases are close together, that will happen because obviously not everybody's at the same level. So it's.
No, I'm quite far away. I keep a distance from the rest of the sector, just so I can keep my mega ship somewhere hidden, so I can build it up. But still, for some reason, I end up when I finish a 113, I end up having a 103. I do the 103, then I end up having a 87. And probably if I would do the 87, I'll probably end up having a 60 or something.
Yeah, that's weird, that, isn't it? I must admit, and the 87, which whilst it's it's the old target and that sort of stuff, it's only worth like what is it, 9.5, isn't it, or something like that, 9.5 million. It's not exactly worth a great deal, is it? So that's a lot of effort, like you know. Yeah,
those are really good if you're finishing off. Like you get like 330 million, and you only need a couple more.
Yeah, you can pop a couple of those, can't you? Yeah, I mean, I know for the lower levels, that sort of stuff. I think it's I think you can do, is it 4 or 5? Yes, it's 587s, and then is it the next one down 80? I think it is, and that gets you like if you're above a level 80, I think that gets you like 2 million, and then that's you done to the price pack 4 sort of level. So if you've got really low level sort of fleets, so I mean, it starts affecting obviously your points then because obviously your base level, but yeah. Anyway, so we've seen the target now. It's the blitz one. I don't think it's maybe the best one because you definitely got to run that channel when you start off in that 103, haven't you? You sort of like, it's definitely not doable with citadels, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, and it starts you in that bottom right hand corner as well, which is not nice because the first thing you got to do is drop down. Even if you've got monos, is drop down, loop around, and then get your speed up a little bit, and then rush that channel. So yeah, it's not ideal, but. Anyway, that's the blitz. So I mean, the thing is that stepping down from the 113, which obviously it was sort of like working somewhere between 109 million points, wasn't it, to 145 at one stage. So I don't know what all that fluctuation was all about. They seem to settle back down again, though, haven't they? To the lower level, which is a shame because it'd be nice if they were worth. I was hoping they'd get them at 120. or even 110, but if you one shot them without coming out, maybe you got 10 million extra, so it'd be 120. So just do 3 targets, and then you were finished.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah, it didn't seem to happen though, did it? Unfortunately.
Yeah. In what world can you do 3 of them and not 3.5? Like, that's just unnecessary and rude.
Well, it just also needs a half dead target for somebody else as well, which is not good, is it?
Yeah, or like I would do 3, and then I'd do like half of a fourth, and then I'd insta reset, and then I would clean up the half dead target that I just left, because clearing all of it is a waste.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
And obviously the points redistribution on the 113 as well needs to be discussed as well, because I think as we know, the first week they came out, what happened? Everyone just went and rooted around the outside and that sort of stuff, and just left the middle. And that was, to say it was annoying was a bit of an understatement. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more annoying than, say, leaving half-dead 109s around. At least with the 109s, I could clear them for fragments back when fragments were still a thing.
Yeah. But, I mean, obviously now they've rebalanced it this week and that sort of stuff. So when you actually go around the outside, it still leaves, 70 million points in the center or something like that? Is it, or 75?
70, 75, something like that. Yeah, that gives me an idea. I wonder if maybe the 145 million was a glitch in how they were programming the point payout for the target.
Yeah, it could be. It'd been nice to have stayed. Evening, George. How are you, mate?
Evening, guys. How you doing?
Yeah.
Hi,
fine,
George.
mate. Yeah. So, but they've settled down. I mean, I think, I've seen some really good videos on the 113 now and that sort of stuff. And it's been out a week and a half or 2 weeks nearly now. So, it's, and if it's going to stabilize now, and that's the point payout, and that is the target, then, considering where we are, and they've got a long way to run yet for many months, that sort of stuff. There's plenty more tech coming out yet. I don't think people should worry too much if you haven't got it perfect down yet. It's as long as you manage to get around a complete target. I mean, I was on my alt account and I managed a Zelos and Citadels, and I still managed to kill a 113 in one run. So it's doable.
Yeah, practice is going to.
Sorry, George, you were saying.
I was just going to say practice is going to make it easier. As time goes on, we're going to have these targets for a while. So. Yeah,
it's not too bad, to be honest. It's yeah. And there's plenty of people. I mean, Caesar's in chat now, and he's done some good videos and that sort of stuff. And I know, George has done his blog and that sort of stuff, and he's even got a pick by pick picture of which piece to aim for. As long as you got your full range up and running on your tank, whether it be Zealous or whether it be the mono flag, sort of, But it's doable. I really don't think you should be going into the 103 though.
I wish I could find it again, but someone actually put a video of doing it with puns and citadels for like 1 hour and 45 minutes. So that would basically shut everyone up.
I saw that was on our page.
Yeah, it was like a 15-minute video. Oh, here it is. Let's see if I can. Yeah.
You found a video, yeah.
Yeah, I found it. I guess I can. Oh, I can't put it. I think I'm not. Well, here it is in the side chat. If someone wants to put it in the actual chat that is a moderator, there it is. All right, you can do it with pun and sits reasonably well. Shut up, all of you. I don't know. It's going to be okay, depending on how many people have been bombarding the chat with, well, I can't do this, is what my answer is. But it's fine.
Sierra Tango Foxtrot uniform.
Hey, G Daddy, how you doing?
Hey TSM, hey guys and girls, how are you doing?
Yo, G Daddy.
Hey.
Would you say it's been a quiet week this week, actually, in general? Yeah, we've got a couple of TLCs to do that sort of stuff, but they're not sort of like earth-shaking because there's nothing really new in that sort of stuff. I actually haven't even bothered to do 2 of them because I don't want to refit a ship that I've got that I don't need to refit, and the other one, I finished building my base, so I'm not really that bothered, to be honest. So I suppose tech-wise, there's nothing. There's no extra blueprints I need. I've got them all. So I don't think it's an exciting week in BP. Which is not bad because it's the week before the raid. It's going to be a 6-day, Tec Store raid. So yeah,
one's just a continuation. Like the call to arms just continues to exist. The only new one we got is the Liberator one, and that's a joke now. If you've got your current raid fleet sorted, and if you've got your mudgluts, which were free, or you got your prides built up now, because the pride is supposed to be able to do that one. It's supposed to be what's good there.
Yes. Yeah.
I run through them. It takes me 20 minutes real time, and my damage is like an hour, maybe. So
not bad at all.
Anybody that can actually do that Liberator TLC, I would suggest you do it, get the tokens, because the next raid set is Assault, and our new hull, the Phoenix, is going to have more than likely missiles. Looking at that special that we saw the other day.
Yeah, I managed to catch that and flag it up, which I thought was quite decent, because I totally agree. I think it's it's got a hint, because obviously it's missile damage and it was missile, so there's no obvious. It's obvious it's going to be a missile hull, and there was bound to be a missile. So that was a pretty good indication, I think, to be honest.
Yep. So you might need those tokens. We don't know for sure, but you might need those tokens.
That help.
Yeah, it'll do fine. I mean, my problem is I'm still trying to find space in my base to do stuff. So I'm running out of shit.
I'm not commenting on that one right now.
No, I know, but I'm really picky of what I'm going to try and kill off now, and I'm like, that's really annoying, because most of these hulls I actually, I assisted the build, and speeding them up, and now I'm like, hang on a minute, that was an investment, so. I mean, and some of them I haven't actually got a chance to even bloody use them too much, to be honest. But anyway, that's my problem to sort out. It's just slightly annoying. But I don't know.
That's been an ongoing thing for a couple of months too. And I know that what was it, 2 months back? GDR and GDA had said they were going to look into opening up the storage thing. I hope that's coming. I really do.
Something along those lines would be very, very well received, I do believe. I don't know.
I would have to agree.
Yeah, we'll just wait out. I don't know. It's yeah. So talking about now you've actually mentioned that one. Then so that was, what was it called? What's one thing that special was called now? It had a name, didn't it?
Which one? The missile one we saw in the preview.
Yeah,
wasn't
it called
carbon fiber
casing or something like that? Yeah, that was it. That was that.
Carbon fiber casing or payload or something.
Stu, how are you, young man? Oh, sorry. Yes, it's in as well.
Just got in.
How you doing? You're all right?
Yeah, I'm
hey, it's Stu.
Howdy. Hey, Stu.
Buddy.
Oh, so, I see Caesar's joined us too.
Yeah, which is cool. So actually, it's quite a good time to switch topics. So we talked about the FM and that sort of stuff, and it's we've all seen the targets, as we said. We've all seen plenty of videos now. For those that can't do them, just keep digging away at it. You'll get it in the end and that sort of stuff. Okay, it is frustrating for those that really want to go and smash, this week and last week to get those extra build tokens. They are nice to have and that sort of stuff. If you're up to speed, you'd have had plenty, But like George was saying, the target's going to be around for a considerable amount of time. So hold faith, and you'll get there. But yeah, we'll just quickly. I was just going to say, we'll quickly just link on. Where'd it go? Hang on 2 seconds. I was just going to show you the pictures that we managed to get from the preview. Obviously, this preview started. Was it Thursday preview? I don't know. I forgot where we are this week.
Yeah, Thursday.
It was Thursday, wasn't it? Yeah. So I managed to get a bit of a. It was quite. Wasn't many people in the preview that did some streaming, to be honest. I did manage to stream most of it, although it was a bit late starting. But one thing I noticed then, so with a bit of digging around, then so that carbon, as you said, that carbon fiber casing came out, which was a bit of a sneak peek, which may or may not have been in there on purpose. Don't know, but obviously it's nothing that we're actually using in the game at the moment. So that's clearly something for future tents, and the fact that we're moving to assault, and we did a bit of a hint from GDA that. The Phoenix is coming out, so it looks like it's probably going to be a penetrative hull with a new missile. So we're guessing that. What else do we see in that preview? Let's have a look. We did see some other stuff. Let me just go forward and what else we pick up?
Oh yeah, that's
this
right.
weird thing. Yes.
It's very weird compared to other charged armors.
Yeah. What do we think about this? So this C1CO. C0CO. I don't know.
I think the armor pool and damage reduction need to be brought in line with the other two charged armors. This actually
what do you mean?
awfully low to me.
I mean,
The other charged armors have like a pool of what, like 1 million or something, and a damage reduction of like 1,500, 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
This only has a
I
pool
don't
of
think
64,000 and a damage reduction of 525.
well, because the thing is,
But we're not on. Yeah, it's a slightly different. Maybe because it's assault, it's a slightly different way of calibrating the damage to the hull. I don't know. Maybe it's not as gruesome a pounding as the previous format. I don't know.
yeah, because they actually got this one with the other ones, then they can adjust 108,000 and 1320 on the current C1M, 108,000 and 1678 on the C1X, and this is, let's see, 63,000 and 525. Like it really only matters in context of how many shots can it take, and this can take more shots than the other two.
Right.
It's like 120 or something. But the thing is, Kixeye still does have to follow through properly and tune the corrosive damage on the shots to kind of get in line with the reduction of 525 and what they expect us to have.
Well,
That's really going to be the key.
Reaver has traditionally been high salvo as well.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
So that might be why that's
High salvo, low damage, and that sort of stuff. Because obviously, what they want to do is get obviously the field effect up, or sorry, the attack, and get them sort of overloading, don't they? If we are going to get overload. So
I think the main thing to point out about it really is it's for generalist only as well, and I hope it hasn't got a 10 million price tag.
well, assault and generalist.
Assault and general.
Yeah.
Generalist, yeah.
So assault and generalist. So it's unusual way to put one of these. Is this the first one that could go on a generalist? I don't know. No, it's not.
All of them can go on a generalist. They can
Okay.
go on a generalist in every other PvE type that has that defense as a suggested defense.
Okay. Well, that's not so bad then.
Yeah, so oh god, what was it again? So the charged armor M can go on garrison and assault, and I believe the charged armor X can go on garrison and skirmish.
Yes, those and also generalist. Every charged
Well, yeah.
armor so far can go on a generalist.
Mm.
And thank
Okay,
God.
cool.
I have a problem with the bigger picture of these things being available, because
mate.
the presumption is going to be that the other two are going to be available as well, right? So now we have 3 charged armors at 10 million a
10
pop.
million, yeah,
mean,
because they don't seem to reduce the price.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Up until the last couple raids, the top end PvE players who will run through their raid and get their points, it's generally been like 60 to 100 million points to get
And then
everything,
go help
right?
other people.
And then go help other people
Yeah.
and do other stuff, either merc or help your alliance or whatever.
You can't do that anymore, can you?
Now, now we're looking at,
Hundreds of
you're
millions,
looking,
isn't it?
yeah, like 300, 400, 500 million points. And, I don't know that they've actually, like looking at the individual prizes by themselves, right? I can go, okay, I can justify some of the prices for point wise, right, for cost. But when you look at the bigger picture, what are you asking your players to do? Because now we're getting to the point where it's like, okay, you have to play for like 40, 50, 60, 70 hours on a 6-day raid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they've actually sat back and looked at the overall picture of what they're asking us to do.
And in addition, they're losing because a while back, and it made a big scene. A forum mod basically told a player that couldn't do well in a raid to buy a merc, and that was years ago, and that caused a big old stinking. Why can't I do this for myself and this and that? But this sort of play is encouraged, and now they're losing all that money from people buying coins to get someone else to prep. So I guess they're gambling that a certain percentage will do it for themselves. Like if it costs someone 3 times as much to get the prizes coin-wise, spend 3 times as much money as it would buying a merc, they're hoping that the amount of money that they get from people buying for themselves and trying will outweigh the amount of money that they will forfeit, and the people that will instead not choose to do it for themselves and not spend that money at all.
How many players leave though because they just feel like they're frustrated as hell because they feel like they can't get ahead?
I
Yeah.
want to make a bold claim that Kickstarter doesn't really care about that number.
Look, if people were able to do all of this and get the charged armors and all that other stuff, which kind of has a feel of necessity now, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I did the video of the no charged armors for the Zealous and the, what do you call them, monos, I mean, it's been not even a week and there's over 3,500 hits on it. I mean, that's a bad sign. I mean, I want to think that I can do a nice video and all, but I know in reality, like that should have probably gotten like 1,000 hits. 3,000 people, 3,500 people watching that makes me think that people are very, very concerned about this charged armor issue and the points and the costs associated with it. And, like I said, I mean, individually, if you look at each individual prize in like the past raids, I could go, okay, yeah, I can understand why it's that price. I can understand why it's that price. But then when you step back and take a look at the overall picture and go, hey, you know what? You need to get 250 million points in a 3-day raid. Yeah, you know what, dude? What do you like? Come on.
Yeah, it's frustrating, mate. I know. Let's see what goes. I don't know what the answer is, to be honest, but they need to really be cautious or dumb the other ones down. Dumb the other ones down in price, 2.5 million, whatever they want to do. I don't know. Otherwise, it's going to get nuts. And this is supposed to be like luxury items, not must-have items, and that sort of stuff. So,
I mean, I was thinking about it, and I really can't come up with an easy solution. I mean, that's the catch. Is you're in a situation now that, what do you do? I mean, personally, I've spent a whole lot of points getting my charged armors, right? I got it on everything. And I won't mind if I see him for 2.5 million. I have a feeling that I'm never ever going to see it at 2.5 million, not anytime soon. But
I think the precedent's been set. I do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's
I take it for 5 million.
Well, the older ones, yeah.
I mean, even still though, right? If you want to get 10 of each, right, at 5, even if at 5 million a pop, right, that's 150 million points at 5 million. That's a lot of raid points.
Stu, you got a point, mate. Stu, what are you going to say, mate?
I actually had no point on the charged armor. I just thought that Sargo Pride looked sexy as shit.
Yeah, so I wouldn't mind moving on to that. Yeah, it does. So in the
flawless segue.
I didn't really.
Well, I saw it and I haven't really actually because you've blown the picture up a bit.
Yeah, it's not that brilliant.
I hadn't actually really noticed the looks of it beforehand, and it really looks nice, doesn't it?
So the thing I like about this one here, let's move on to some positives, okay? And so we all know Pride's still doing pretty well and that sort of stuff. The reduction of obviously having the BB crew hasn't helped a great deal with obviously people that have been using that as a main PvP hull. What's quite nice about this, I mean, so there you go. So this has been commissioned, that sort of stuff. But anyway, it's come in. But going on with the statistics there, the most important thing with having this as your flagship is in the flagship effects bonus there. So you can see that the radioactive deflection obviously is now up to 15k. Which in some respects means then you can switch now your armors from obviously the plate armor, because that's where it was particularly weak. I mean, yes, with BB crews, obviously we were knocking out, any missile that was coming towards you, but you could actually switch now and put pen plate on instead. And 3 pen plates is going to help you considerably, because obviously with this thing as the flag, you now got 15k of obviously radioactive deflection. So
and
in general terms, that gives it some pretty decent, because ballistic defense is still there, and actually I was using the Prides even without the flag in the preview, and those that saw it, I could drive past even the new hull that come out as well, So I couldn't kill the hull, but I could certainly drive around the back of it. So it's brought the Pride fleet back to the front line again, I think, to be honest. Unless other people think different.
Which
Well,
is,
if you really want to laugh, you can put radio plates on anyway and just have them shockwave you with your 30,000 rad deflection, and you just laugh and laugh. It's great.
Yeah, well, you could, but I was just about to say, actually, I think this is exactly what the game needs.
Yeah, I do. I think.
You're looking at what they're doing for Mudgluck thingy, whatever you want to call it. the devil child of Voldemort.
I heard Mudblood, and then you went on.
Yeah, I know.
I've heard Gluttony as well.
Well done.
But no, if you look at what they're doing with that, a lot of the counters to that goes towards the Pride as well. So bringing the Pride back in means that we're not just kind of sat there with okay, so the Mudglucks aren't working as well as before. you know, Liberators might not be doing, you know, the best they used to be, but at least now I've still got my Pride fleet that I've already built. All I've got to do is throw in my lead, you know, maybe mix it up a bit for our Survivor in there, job to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where this is going to sit in the
I mean, because if you think of it, if they didn't bring this out, what are you going to use?
Yeah, I agree.
Your prides are now not completely useless, but they're pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, without this, you don't really have many options left. They kind of like killed most of the options with the new update.
Yeah, since the better turrets came out, like prides were super strong when they first came out, but that's because we didn't have any like turrets or anything. And then the turrets came in and it kind of got tempered down, but it was still like the go-to fleet for good base hitters until the Mudgluts came about. I actually want to pose a question to the panel, because a lot of people were talking about nerfing the Muddle Missile specifically, and
the splash of it, maybe.
Yeah, the splash, just a precise nerf to the Gluttony,
which was a 30 plus on the I think the Gluttony hull, not necessarily the missile, because the Gluttony hull is the thing that can sneak up, and obviously we know that it's got a inherent range, obviously, you know, as in a sneaky range of 75. But when you got a turret that can, you know, a weapon that has no lead off, you know, and it can range 100, then the Mudglut doesn't care, does it? Because it's not going to get seen, because it doesn't need to come up to so close to get seen. So
yeah,
you know.
and what I'm wondering is, you even got it up on screen now, the UTT, where they made that change with the giant sonar.
Yeah, so the sonar there, that 390, which in the preview worked, I mean, amazingly, I have to say. It spotted me every single time. I only ran a couple of places.
Well, that's going to knock all subs out of game, is that now, from it in base?
Yeah, and that's if I can actually like ask the question, like,
go on.
Would you rather have the precise nerf to the Gluttony and just hurt the Mudglut fleet, or would you rather have everything else brought up like this to, yes, it hits the Mudglut, but it also hits the Pride, and basically all sub-preps are screwed now because that sonar is insane? Would you rather have the widespread nerf but leave the OP thing OP, or nerf the OP thing and leave everything else just kind of there?
That's a good point.
It's difficult for me to answer that question, because some of the stuff that they have like changed is actually pretty cool. Yeah, and there's certain things that they did change that I think should have been working that way beforehand.
From the forwards, like the cadmians and that sort of stuff.
Yes, exactly. Like, I think that should always have worked that way. I mean, it's a bit crappy that it just sort of affected walls. I mean, I don't give a shit about walls.
It was pointless, wasn't it? Yeah. But the good thing is, don't forget those overlays. Now the plan is that it's going to affect all the. In fact, all the overlays should have their building, where it's always said 50% building and that sort of stuff. You know, and if you put it onto a certain thing, you get a bit more sort of stuff. You know, that should affect them across the whole fleet, not just the cadmium, from what GDA was saying.
Yeah, but at the same time, what Brian was saying, at the same time, I do still think that they should have nerfed the Mudglut.
Yeah, I honestly think actually reducing the Mudglut splash to 15 and not leaving it, was it 30 as a bulk standard actually on the hull itself, I think that was an oversight.
Well, I've got a ghost crawler that's now literally useless.
Yeah, I can't think of a use for mine now.
One that you know, the have is now gone.
Yeah, like that's one of the things that I don't think they may have contemplated, is that all the additions that they're going to do are going to affect everything in the game rather than just nerfing, you know, the Mudglut. Because I think Raina said it the other day too, is, you know, we have prep fleets too. I have a whole fleet of gluttonies that are mayhem gluttonies that to prep. Yep. These changes are going to make them useless. So now I have 2 fleets that are going to be useless. On top of it, if I don't have time to build that flagship, because I'm building this one right here that's on the screen now, you know, I'm not going to be able to use my prides, because the prides aren't going to be worth as much now because of all the changes. I mean, I just think it's going to make it harder for them to balance the game. And right now, if they do all those changes, the only real viable hitter for top end bases is going to be the Pride, and we're back to a mono type of, you know, singular fleet, attack.
4 Prides and a Survivor.
3, I mean, I would rather have seen the nerf, and that way you have options to hit a base again.
Yeah, and then maybe this Visago's Pride wouldn't be necessary. It's a shame for me to say that, because I really do like the hull, because it's kind of a concession to Prides, as Stu said, but it's also really nice. I like the stats and stuff. I wish it didn't have to exist, because I don't like the idea of flagships in Conquer hulls, especially in most Conqueror fleets where you only have to build 1 or 2 of this specific ship, maybe 3. Pride is an exception, but even still, I don't want to spend another, 10, 12 days, however long these flagships are, just for this. And now feel like that's forced upon me because the Chromium overlay is working better and all that other stuff has necessitated this.
However, at the end of the day, PvP is back in a vengeance, or it certainly has been for the last couple of weeks, or 3 or 4 weeks, to be honest. And the Mudglut did do that. So, it was cheap to build. It was easy to build. In fact, for many people, it was free. It got them also the Hab and that sort of stuff, the Harlox Alpha off as well, because that campaign, if you had Mudgluts, basically you did it for nothing. It didn't cost you a damn thing because you just ran through and killed everything. So in some ways, okay, it's advanced people's games and that sort of stuff, but I totally agree. I absolutely believe that rather than bringing out another hull and then doing some other stuff as well, the Cadmians and all should have worked in the first place anyway, but I just think the Mudglut was they were slightly overzealous with the amount of splash they gave the basic hull. That's my gut feeling.
If I may feed people's nightmares for a minute, if you remember the frontline countermeasure system, when it first came out, it had 74% turret defense, right?
Yes.
And it got changed like a day after. What if instead of nerfing the turret defense back to what it should have been, they made every turret in the game super overpowered to compensate? And everything like in the garrison and the FM was basically undoable unless you had that tech, and they kept that tech locked far behind. Like, that would be terrible for the game.
It would be.
So it's a kind of
double-edged sword.
It's a Reaver hull as well, and also going to be used for next raid, obviously. But but repair times on that on Reaver hull.
Well, that's my worry about that. As I said before in the preview, on when we obviously GDAs on that sort of stuff, and I said that classically Reaver hulls have had a horrendous build and repair times. But let's hope there's a new generation, and hopefully they're going to bring things in and keep them in line with obviously what's happened recently in the last few months. That whilst build times have been sneaking up, I'd say I think we've had a reasonable amount of build tokens kicked out and that sort of stuff. So
Wraith was fine. Wraith was fine.
Yeah, it was generally okay. I just want to quickly just talk about this. Which is there's the picture and there's the stats for the penance cannon. I like about this, obviously it's tier 6 and that sort of stuff, but actually there's no reason why you can't put it up to tier 5, which actually then reinvigorates the malice, I think. Unless other people think different.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Do you have a slide of the special?
Yes, I do as well. I think I do.
I actually think they should get away from hull classes now. Get off the weapon thing of the hull classes. We need to better put them on.
I think they'll lock them down on purpose.
I don't think so.
So imagine you put this on an ironclad or something like that. That'd be nuts.
Yeah.
Well, no, because the building damage is crap.
Yeah, if you pop forward to the special and then pop back to this, right?
I have to find it. No, it's not that one there. Sorry. There it is. There you go.
All right, you see the accuracy, range, and splash, right? Now, if you go back to the weapon.
So we've got accuracy 60, okay, ballistic range 50, and then splash. So range of 50, splash of 45. Okay, so that's not too bad.
We talked about this a little bit last night. What's the accuracy buff for when it's a dumbfire weapon?
And there's literally no accuracy.
And if you take the description, because I have to actually put up the description, and if you read the description, it says it's an accuracy based weapon. And,
well, it can't be then, can it?
So
it's a contradiction in terms.
I'm kind of confused about that special having splash and accuracy on a dumbfire weapon. I don't know.
There's the possibility of combining the penance cannon with, say, arbalests or the D110s.
But that has Pierce. That's also dumbfire, isn't it?
Yep.
I thought they had an accuracy stat though.
But that doesn't matter because it has Pierce.
Because it's a dumbfire weapon.
Try the hammer.
Yeah,
the hammer.
There's a comparison in the preview to this. This was outperforming the hammer statistics for the hammer, because reload time's 6. Obviously, by the time you got the reload boost, and then obviously you rank your ship up and that sort of stuff, this reload was really right down. But then you go and slam this on that special, and you go and put that on a malice, which has got a really low reload anyway, and it's which isn't a bad little hull, and I think it will outperform this particular hull, because this one was very weak, I found, to explosive, whereas the malice isn't. You've got some good stats there on the malice and that sort of stuff, and it's also very goddamn fast as well.
Also, this cannon does not have a random concussive damage stat tacked onto it, even though everything else only was ballistic.
Yeah. So anyway, look, I was just random ideas, but I think things are going to be again for those that are only in the tier 5 and that sort of stuff. If you can get hold of this, I think it's a. I don't know if it's going to be locked behind the hole, in front of the hole, behind the Visago punnet. I don't know where it's going to go. Sorry, the Visago Pride. I don't know where we're going in obviously next week's raid, but we'll have to wait and see. But there we go.
Do you still have survivor tokens?
Yeah.
Survivor tokens might be useful.
What's with the spread on there, by the way?
Yeah, good question as well.
Weapon,
yeah, dumbfire, so it just gets a bit of it must have a bit of spread, so it's a splashy type thing, isn't it, and that sort of stuff. So anyway, it is. We are where we are. Right, we'll get off the pictures now because obviously people are probably sick of looking at pictures, and they're on our page anyway. So there we go. We'll get back to some lovely faces. All right, good. So that was it. So that's a preview and that sort of stuff. Now, if anybody remember, I thought we'd just go back to Tuesday's show as well, and obviously the things GDA had quite a bit of a good Q&A session, I thought, with him at the end. Obviously, it actually alluded to quite a few good points. I don't know if it's right to say.
PvP great again. Delete PvE. What?
Yeah.
Silence.
I would like to reduce PvE. Well, I think they probably have reduced it a little bit because some of it, obviously, you don't really have to worry about too much because things like, obviously, retrofitting some things doesn't really matter anymore because it sort of seems to be semi-automatic. It just works in the background for you. Although you're doing it, you haven't really got to save up a great deal for it or go find bloody targets to do it either. So that's a bonus. But
I don't know, a lot of the chores now.
It takes longer though. That's the thing.
A lot of precision driving, a lot of time.
FM's become a very fussy thing.
Like 80 to 90% of my gameplay is chores right now. So.
Yeah. Well, I've gone away, from and I've really stopped using my monos, and I've completely stopped. Hey, Heavy.
Hello, Heavy.
Man, Heavy.
Howdy.
Hi, mate. I've stopped using mine now for the FM because I just can't be arsed, to be honest. I really can't be bothered. I'm not sitting there for an hour. And those that saw the video that I did on mine, I smashed through 3 113s and I hit a 103, and I did it in the same time the guy with his monos was still sat in a 113, the very first one. I was like, that, mate, I was done in under 10 minutes, finished.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, that, sod that. Yeah, okay. So I had 7 hours of repair, but I had other things to do. Like a life. So I just smashed through it and then just put him to bed. Got up 20 minutes early, finished the next round, went to work. Oh, funny enough, look, come home, fixed.
Yeah.
I can get on with my life.
I was thinking about base pots too. I mean, that's now just.
I haven't collected base parts since the changeover.
No, me either. I haven't collected a single base part. Mine's on 0 and it's going to stay on 0 unless I get the
I'm curious, has anyone here actually been actively collecting base parts?
I hit one target.
Not really, no.
Like, let's say compared to before.
No, huge difference. Huge difference.
My base part needs have been. They've been declining as I've been actually getting everything I want done. And I swapped out a few turrets to that new ballistic turret. And I've had to put on chromium and explosive overlays in anticipation of the change. And if it doesn't change, I'll just roll it back.
I was going to say, I usually burn through, like 4 or 5 million every couple of days just changing stuff around. And I've not done that in about, I don't know, since it come out.
Yeah, I'm bothered. I can't be asked.
I've literally just gone, I don't feel like driving.
I did something at my base the other day. I went, it can just do itself in slow time. It took like 8.5 days. I went, I really don't care.
Beforehand, kind of, I threw, one ironclad into each target, let it do its thing, and then come back an hour later and hope someone hadn't sniped the fleet.
But I think most people.
I
think most of the people in this group have reached a level of advancement with their base that they don't really need them that bad. But for somebody that's relatively new to the game and can do the 50 whatevers for minimal damage, I could see, especially somebody that maybe they got them the Cannoneers, their alliance mates got them the Cannoneers or something of that nature. I could still see there's a group out there collecting them, probably with, a fair bit of activity.
If you have to if you have to collect all those parts from 50 whatevers, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, if it was still the old targets, I'd be getting them and playing around with my base. I really would. But
Life moves on.
Essentially, I went, hey, you know what? I'm not doing that crap and screw
do you
my
know
base.
what? I honestly have no
base.
idea what's inside each one because I don't need it. I've not even looked at anybody's videos. I've not looked at anything at all. I'm just like, oh yeah, those things. I don't need them. Leave them alone. Just don't go near them. I just haven't bothered doing any of it.
I just hit 81s. They aren't too bad.
What's the side note though? You can still send an ironclad into the drag bases and get about 65k.
Yeah,
and
very much so.
From memory, you can do about 8 to 9 of them.
With a sync, yeah.
Oh, yours will finish one on auto? Mine will run around in circles for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Mine does it as well. Ironclad.
Well, I mean, I'm just lazy again. So I just take in my icebreakers and that sort of stuff, and I'll zip around all 4 corners. And I don't even have to be pinching or anything like that sort of stuff, even for the center scattergun. And it takes about an hour and 20 damage and that sort of stuff to do all 4. So it's it's easy, to be honest. I don't mind it.
Are you talking about a dub?
He's talking about
Sorry, dubs. Yeah, not thingies. Yeah, sorry. I'm just talking about dubs and getting obviously uranium and that sort of stuff. So I've turned into a real lazy pirate.
What's really?
I think a lot of us have.
I've turned a right bone idle bastard, basically.
What's really pissing me off is though I'm still in the middle of building a mono fleet and a siege fleet from last raid of cannoneers.
Yeah.
And they're all still blanks, just with one thud or one weapon on.
Why are you trying to do both at the same time, though?
No, I was doing the siege one, and I stopped now to do the FM for this one.
Yeah, FM's a priority, mate, definitely.
FM's definitely a priority, as you've always said as well, George.
Yeah, I would definitely concentrate on that one first.
Yeah, and then that's what I'm doing now. I've got the 4th one coming out. And then I've got a VXP I'm after raid, so obviously they're still going to be blank until I've VXP'd and repaired them all or whatever. And, it's just getting beyond a joke. 3-month cycle is a joke, end of,
Question though, when the 112s and the 115s were around, with the VXP tokens for the icebreakers and the monoliths, did you take advantage of that?
Yes.
I had a few.
Yeah, I did.
I think he was asking GDaddy.
All right.
Say question again. Sorry, I didn't edit.
When the 112s and the 115s were around with the VXP tokens that were paying out, did you take advantage of it?
No, I couldn't do them.
That's a real
really?
shame.
Yeah, I couldn't do them. Even in last raid, I were zombieing my fleet because as soon as I went too far, I were getting pushed further with lag, and it went like 2 or 3 inches in front of where I'd stopped the ship, and I was just getting obliterated by rockets.
Yeah, don't you?
All
that's because you're streaming too much. Stop streaming and just play the game for a bit.
That's it right there. Too much stuff running at once.
Streaming your baby's growth rate.
Yeah.
And congrats, by the way, mate.
Cheers.
No, sorry, man. This is a little dig there. That'll be funny.
Yeah, you're all right. No worries. I can hack it.
I know. So what I was going to quickly say though is, what did you think in comparison? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they're employees and that sort of stuff, and they're there to support us. So, and provide us information. So we've had quite a decent amount of feedback last year from obviously GDR and that sort of stuff. And now we've had 2 sessions with GDA. So comparisons, thoughts, that sort of stuff. Same but just different voice, or does it prefer the
GDR
method?
is definitely better.
So you don't get an opinion. All right? I'm not asking you.
I'm joking.
Never to appear again on our show, GDA. We're sorry.
I'll get
scrape
hate
you
mail
from under
from
that bus that you just threw under.
You can't talk because you'll get hate mail, whichever one you go for. But
I was going to say, I'll get hate mail from him later on tonight. He'll message me.
Guys, if you want to let us know in the chat, because then they can't read it. So I'm quite happy people, even if you're on the panel, you can just type it in the chat. I'm just interested, So we'll just do a sneak. Stu, you can even do it.
No, for real. Honestly, I just like the fact that, because I play a lot of games, right? And I played games as small as this, smaller than this still. And it's quite rare to see any staff ever come out and do something with the community.
Yeah,
like in any game. Yeah. Like I can't actually think of a game that I've spoken to, a member of their staff, just as a player.
I can, but I'll let you finish.
Oh, all right. Well,
screw
you.
Oh, I heard that. I heard that.
we actually had devs on from TRA, and they were talking to us about the game, all the updates that they planned, all the raids that they planned, everything. But then it just went off face of earth now, and hardly anybody plays it. So I'm not knocking the game because I still claim my res on it. But yeah, they actually had devs in chat with us on there.
Yeah, well, I was just saying it's quite rare for that to happen. So you have to give them kudos for that, you know.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I must admit, I mean, for me personally, I like maybe because I speak fast, I don't know, but I just like the delivery for GDA. Just snaps from one piece to the next piece and that sort of stuff. However, I do think GDR still got a level of knowledge in the game that's definitely it can jump from one piece to another piece and then look back into areas of the game that and then bring it forward and that sort of stuff and talk. So he's got the depth without a doubt and that sort of stuff. So I think they've brought a good mix. I still quite like. I actually watched back just before we did this. I watched back the Christmas show as well, or the one just before. That worked quite well.
Bring back swag, CM swag. That's what I say.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it'd be interesting. So, but what about some of the things GDAs are saying? And that sort of stuff, and obviously the new format for obviously a sort of go into I can't remember the name of the event was sort of stuff where basically you all jump in and smash the crap out of each other's bases and you get some funky, sexy prizes and bounty, and that was it. That sort of stuff. So, what do you reckon about that? Yes, you can only hit up, which I quite like, and that sort of stuff. I still see it being abused by opposing or friendly alliances maybe and that sort of stuff. I don't know.
I don't like the fact of the last hour that you've got no bubble. That could
you can't hide. Yeah, you can't hide in a bubble.
A lot of little bases or big bases going to hit you, take all your parts, leaving you vulnerable for a little guy to go in and take all your res as well.
Yeah, like your base is just dead.
Yeah,
it's weird.
No bubble at all allowed, no matter what. So how many times can you be hit?
Well, if you don't repair just once.
Yeah, I think no. Don't forget, it says you bubble but unbubble. But obviously, once you've been hit, then you just bubble up. It doesn't mean you just lose the bubble again and you just keep getting hit and just keep getting hit. That wouldn't happen.
No. That last hour, you do not have a bubble. There are
at
no
all.
bubbles that
You
last-
can't get a bubble at
Not
all.
at all. Not at all.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have so much fun.
Oh god,
I might just play for the last hour and that's it.
Here's the thing: the catch.
so I cannot be there.
The catch with that. Listen, the catch with that is the people that are going to coin are going to go out with their fleet. They're going to go whack a base, coin on the map, whack a base, and not repair their base. So they're going to.
That's what I'm gonna do. That's my plan.
They're going to have.
That's
a bubble
exactly
anyway.
thinking the same thing, mate. Is it just keep pairing on the sea?
Yeah, it's going to be a bubble anyway because you're not going to be able to get hit anyway. So what the hell's the difference?
Or you just keep on timing yourself out with your ult on your base for the last hour.
Yes. Didn't say that, did you, mate? No. just
I don't plan to participate, but I'm just saying.
Get that crew that puts the extra, obviously, minute or whatever time on as well, and then just that'd be really wrong.
Just do the defensive
That is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. Imagine the people queued up outside your base, and there's one person there. You have to go and smash the ult or something. I don't know.
I just imagine there being a graphic above your base, like take a number.
Yeah. Take a number and sit in the queue.
I mean, unless they automatically repair your base, it's going to essentially be just like a bubble. So I don't know what the mechanic is there, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Paul just said that in the chat as well. If they put an auto repair on your base, which
Not your whole base, but if it's an auto repair like your dock is, I wonder if your vault. If your vault auto repairs, then yeah,
you're going to get hammered. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I suppose if you're going out hitting, you can only hit up and that sort of stuff. But if you don't hit until those bits and you start really, really low, you can really go and annoy some people quite a lot.
Well, I think the worst thing is
it's funny
as well is that they've not given you an option. It's either in or out.
Yeah,
and if
exactly.
You're in for good.
Yeah, if you're in, you're in. But the thing is, you only got to do it once because some of them are lasting 48 hours and some of them may last longer. They need to be very fussy, as we said, about when they're going to decide to put this on so that you aren't fixing a whole red dock of stuff, and then all of a sudden you're, it's the VXP weekend and you've already got fleets that are all red and that sort of stuff.
To me, it's like a second raid, though, don't you think?
That's the double repair queue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the double repair queue obviously stops as soon as the thing's over. So if you haven't finished fixing, you've still got the stuff to fix, and you've only gone back to a
Yeah.
single repair crew. So
Yeah.
just be cautious with that.
What's
I
the
do
raid
like
with?
the idea though that they split it up, the repairs. Sorry, Brian, go on.
Well, I mean, it is kind of a second raid. It's like the PvP raid that everyone keeps talking about. You know.
Yeah.
It because of such a low repair cost on most of the PvP holes. I don't think it's going to be too bad for the game as a whole. It's completely optional, and it only rewards you. Ideally, it will only reward you with PvP tech, which is again an optional part of the game that you would get ahead of other people. You know, so maybe it shows up in the FM later anyway, so you're not even paying for exclusivity, which is important. So if you miss out or you choose not to do it, no big deal. You'll get it the next time. It's fine.
But at least if you got to the end of it and it's not really in the most important period, you know, just for taking part, you did say you would get something quite decent. So I don't know what quite decent means. So we'll have to see.
Just to get you hooked.
Yeah, but you know what? If
dealer, innit?
If you're not doing a great deal, like a coke dealer, but if it is only one fleet, you know, and it's the night before, and you know it'll fix overnight sort of stuff, because docks auto fix, don't they? So, you know, it couldn't be. It may not be horrendously bad.
Yeah, as far as what Brian was saying, as far as it's PvP is optional, there's a part, or half of PvP is optional. The other half is
part of your chores.
The Conqueror part is optional. The Defender part is a little less optional.
I don't think the Conqueror part is optional, to be honest, because even in some of the things, if you want to, like you say, you want to go and get your tokens for the Liberator and that sort of stuff, or some extra build tokens, then you need a Conqueror fleet to go and complete that. And I know quite a few people couldn't get through that campaign because they didn't have any Conquerors. They only do PvE. So you're sort of stuck in the middle, really, to be honest, in some of those events.
Yeah,
and you know, someone in chat brought up, I think it was Nick, said that you know, it's going to be the arena all over again, and that is kind of one of the things that I'm worried about, because that you know, changed a lot of stuff because the way that the prizes were handed out.
Yep.
Yeah. Good point there.
Right. Okay. So last 10 minutes, that sort of stuff. That's just what we talk about. So we all know then, obviously, next week, or getting into the part of the week, then we are on to the Tec Store raid. So we had a bit of a Rue actually, you know, put up a once request list and that sort of stuff. We haven't really seen anything posted up as yet on the forums. I'm just actually having a look through the forums quickly now, and there's not a great deal up. There's obviously the official release discuss things there, the June event tips and tricks, that sort of stuff, you know, which is nice to see.
Yeah, can we actually talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay. Hey. I made my fun of it last night.
Go on.
But really, it's really good to see something like that. If you're not familiar, Doomrooster wrote a very long post about what damage types this raid is, the recommended hulls, you know, the monolith and garrison, tips for building them, tips for driving them, and just general concepts of what you need in a garrison raid. And by extension, becoming FM, well, current FM if you're at the top end. And I think that's a really great thing. I think that they should do that for all of the PvE cycles, because as a lot of us will know, there are so many people that just type into their phones, what do I need for what offense, what defense? Like, they don't know, and they can't be bothered to click an info button in the game, but that's kind of beside the point. There's a lot of people that just don't know.
But Brian, don't you think they probably should have provided that information 3 months ago?
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. That should have been done
at
the start of that should have been done at the start of the raid cycle, because it's too late now. You can't.
Yes, but I think they're more thinking. I think they're more thinking about the FM as well. To be honest, I mean, yes, it is about the raid cycle, and yes, it is about obviously the week-long event and that sort of stuff. But I think it's even far more important, you know, to make sure you square away an FM fleet. So if you've got to look down that list that he's put there and think about, this is the special you might want to put on, and this is the thing, at least you can go into the Tec Store raid, you haven't got it, and that's the item you should focus on and go and grab it.
But how can you get that if you're so far behind that you have to look up like the builds and such? Like, you're out of time now.
You can, but the very low targets are still doable with very low tech and that sort of stuff. I'm talking the low ones.
Are you
Hopefully that
even going to
low-level
be
tech
able to
isn't-
get any of these hulls or weapons or specials though, with the amount of points that you could get grinding the lower targets?
Until we
even
know,
for
until we know the
CPs?
prices, we don't know. But I do know for a fact that they're targeting some of the very low, you know, in the less than 10 million sort of price pool sort of area with the previous tech, you know. So as in the previous tech fleets.
Then
the
these
very
need to be
low-level
like 1 to
targets.
2 million
Yes, yeah,
per thing.
yes,
Like they have to
exactly.
be super, super cheap.
Yeah, so
And-
things like, you know, if you haven't, I mean, can't imagine, but people haven't got Phalanx 4, people haven't got some, you know, some Gales, if Gales are going to be in there, that sort of stuff. Some of the lower level stuff and some of the specials that we do need should be a really low price.
Don't put the Gales at bloody 5 million.
5 million. Yeah, I know. That
No.
bottom bar, I think last month, because it had like the Phalanx at 900,000 or something like that, and Gale at 1.2. Like that stuff was priced fantastically. The FLCS was like 600,000 or 900,000 as well. Like that's great. That's amazing. That you need to keep that up.
The Phalanx D, I think, was like $1 million.
Yeah, it was something really, really cheap,
Yeah.
and that's great. Hopefully, if you guys Kicks, if you could get started on an assault raid tips and tricks like now, that'd be great. I mean, I understand that it's not even going to be the first month of the cycle till next month, but if they were to release that about a week ahead of the first raid of that cycle, that would be great. I'm sure that would help a lot of players that go and check the forums that may not be, you know, too knowledgeable or new players or things like that. I think it'd be great.
Here, here.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean,
but-
yeah, it's interesting. Damnation should have said, TSM, do you get paid to make excuses for them? I just
Sorry,
like playing devil's advocate. So, you know, if they're going to get slammed and that sort of stuff, I'll try and balance it out, you know, and if everything's getting good on them, I'll try and stick a spanner in the works. You know, I don't really mind. It doesn't bother me, to be honest. But
You have chosen a hard job, sir.
yeah, I just keep a level. Yes, I agree with that, but I do keep a level balance.
Sitting on the
I try
fence.
to. Yeah, well, it's not necessarily sitting on the fence. I can do that as well, but I do try and see it. Make sure it's got a bit of yin and yang in it anyway. So
You got to make sure they come back on the show and give you info, haven't you?
what do they always say? Better the devil you know. Eh?
Exactly.
Exactly.
We're here to provide information. I try not to take too many sides. You know, this is for the players. Got to get the information out. You know, I'm not selling my soul to the devil, but sometimes you do have to bite your tongue. Let's just say that. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
And sometimes you got to be diplomatic, even when you want to curse and scream.
In my job, I'm the most diplomatic person I probably know, actually, to be honest. But yeah, it's good. So yeah, Tec Store raid, 6 days long. Yeah, get your comfy seat out because you're gonna freaking need it. I can't imagine how many hundreds of
Got the
millions you're gonna
sleeping
want,
bag
and that's
inside of
and
you.
that it. You know, and if you've got a job, pull a sickie.
Yeah.
I'm injecting
For
my
like a
eyeballs
week.
with Red Bull as we speak.
Hey, what would you guys think to a sliding scale for stuff like the charged armors, where like the first one's 10 million, the second one's 9, the third one's 8, the fourth one's 7?
You're just making it confusing.
No.
Go away.
Just because you can't think logically, Stu. I mean, come on.
No,
man.
I mean, like after the
I
first
can't
3 or
make
4,
it
I'd be like,
into
so how
remedial-
many points do I need?
I can't make it into remedial math for you.
Well, I think they might
You're
put
trying to say it's thick as
the
mint.
corrosive.
I
I think they might
Just
put
put
the
it
corrosive
at
at
7.5
10
and
million.
leave it in there.
I prefer, like, obviously I prefer if it was a flat reduction and everything was like, you know, half price or whatever, but this option is better than what I feel like they will do, which is to leave them at 10 million and, you know, ha 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 ha.
No, I
Yeah,
think,
just put it at 7.5 million and be done with it. So that
no, I
we
think
deserve
10 million
something.
corrosive would.
7.5. I want to see it at 2.5.
I'd like to see that as well, but I think you're being unrealistic. Let's be honest.
Do you know what I like to
I mean,
see?
if you
I
look at
think
if
the
you look at
best-
the big picture, though, at 7.5 million, what's that? 200 and something million points?
Yeah, it's
just
still.
for-
225
10,
million
no?
for 30 armors.
It's just
Yeah,
not realistic. I mean, the thing is,
250
you can't put just one on one fleet. So if you're grouping a set of, you know, a set of, let's just say monos, you can't put a set on one of the holes. You've got to do it equally across all the holes, which means once you've gone down that avenue, you've got to keep going. And then once you go and look at the collective, I mean, I suppose tank's the first thing you want to look at and that sort of stuff.
Well,
but we've all
it's
agreed
worse.
that it's not the
gonna
best
be-
thing sometimes.
Yeah, it's going to be worse because the next raid's assault.
And the
you
different
have to
formats,
stack.
yes,
Yeah, you're going to be
yes.
stacking. You're going to be stacking. All 5 of your ships going to be getting hit. You got to have this armor on all of them. So you're not looking at like, oh, I can get away with only 1 or 2.
Yeah,
You know?
Maybe
you're
if
gonna
you're
want to buy one for each ship.
maybe if you put one ship in just like an inch in front and they shoot at that, and then they have priority targeting that takes over and just ends that ship, and then maybe a second like ship in the front will live somehow. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't want to.
you're probably right, which is it's a little scary to me because that means I have to get either 5 or 10 armors, or what's the point?
Yeah, and I mean, playing with the speeds on that Zealous and Mono fleet, one of them having speed system 4, the other one's having speed system 5, and playing with I mean, man, that's getting complicated. It's just
it never should have had accelerate to begin with. It should have been like the Empyreans.
Well, I'm just saying, trying to mess with the builds so you can get one ahead than the others because you only have 2 charged armor. I don't think that's the way that it should be working.
And the God tier arc missiles. Let's not forget those.
Oh God, please.
God tier backline seeking arc missiles.
Sorry, I was just laughing at chat. There's some funny stuff on there. Raina's on the chat. That's good. Raina, you have to watch the show back because you're in it. So anyway, I'm not telling you where.
I can guarantee.
I was talking about you.
Show back.
Oh dear. Anyway, I was just talking shite then. What are we talking about? Right, it's gone past the hour. Anything else you want to pick up? Come on, let's go across the line and let's have a few minutes. And right, Brian, anything you want to assassinate while you're there?
Yeah.
Take a breath and go for it. Anything?
No. I
Okay.
actually I felt bad for last week because I said bad things, but I had nice things to say, but I believe. Now I said nice things, sort of.
Okay, Caesar, what about you, mate?
For me, just touching on what Brian said earlier on regarding information on the forums, why can't I just put it inside the prompt inside the game, like when the TLC launches and all stuff like that?
Oh,
Because people will close that without a second thought. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Maybe on the side, like
a little button up in the top left-hand corner, as they do sometimes those drop downs. That'd be great, wouldn't it? So
Yeah,
give it a timeout. Give it a timeout, 30 seconds or a minute, whatever it is, before a little close button appears on it.
Well, how about instead of the spinny disc, the words come up instead? Because you've got to wait at least 10 seconds every time the spinning
There you
disc.
go.
So just
I
have a
like
splash
that
screen
idea.
instead.
Yeah, I like
Just
that idea.
10 words on it.
or just put like where the state of the game, where the exclamation point is, something like that.
Hang on, what's Venom after? Venom wants something. He wants a link to the show. Could someone just post that in the chat, one of the mods, if you wouldn't mind, please?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Then don't let him talk. No. G Daddy, anything for you, mate?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for 2 weeks off that I've had not doing FMs to Kickside. First 2 weeks off ever of the game that I've not had ever.
Yes, you're right, actually. It's been quite chilled. I must admit, I've actually managed to get on other things, including sorting out my alt base as well. So that's actually coming on very nicely. The one that I don't spend any coin on. So it's hard.
No, I had chance to repair my PC, over it all down and get it all, my man cave turned round and set up my green screen,
Me man
put up
cave.
my lights and everything.
It's good. Hey, Venom, how you doing, mate?
Hello.
Okay, I'll get to you, mate. I'll get to you. George, anything you want to cover quickly?
Just what I said before. I hope Kickside takes a step back and looks at what they're asking the players to do it in these raids lately. Because, ouch.
Didn't you say new charge armors 20 million each or something? No. Oh, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, just being vicious. Hefe, anything for you, mate?
Cats can't speak, Skippy.
Yeah. He's throwing lasers, but he's not saying anything because he's on mute. I don't know why. He's probably stepped away. Jeff, what about you, buddy? Jeff's gone silent as well. Have we lost everybody's mic or something?
I don't know. I mean, Jeff went off mute, and I just don't hear anything. So he might have
Could be a
an issue.
microphone glitch on his end.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, Peter, what about you, buddy? Anything?
I'm just gonna say that if the Phoenix has a ridiculous repair time, I'm probably gonna look at the Skyfire carrier instead.
I might look at the Skyfire carrier anyway, because they're just like UAV carriers, and the last one, like you said, the Drat carrier was just fun.
We didn't even talk about that, did we?
No, we didn't get that far. I flashed up the Phoenix picture and that sort of stuff. It's a Phoenix, that sort of stuff. We know it's going to throw missiles all over the place, that sort of stuff. We don't know how fast it is.
Some kind of anti-drone point defenses or something.
Yeah, I don't know. And obviously there's the because wow, look, let's we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait till the update for Tuesday and that sort of stuff, and hopefully get some hints and those sort of stuff. So it'll be fun. Stuart, what about you, young man?
2 things. 1, ban George, make BP great again. And 2,
Awesome.
2, someone make Peter a new picture. Those pixels offend my eyes.
Yeah, they do actually. I must admit, pick Peter from 8-bit.
Yep. And that's it, really. I have nothing productive to add apart from ban George, please.
Yeah, don't start muting each other again. Right, Venom, evening, buddy, and Gordon, I'll give you the last couple of minutes, mate.
Good evening. I'm just hiding in a nuclear center, trying to avoid any of the scaremongering from the upcoming raid. You know.
Well, we're trying to be, we're trying to be sort of like not being awkward or not being helpful, just sitting somewhere in the middle, going, it could be good, it could not be bad, or whatever. I don't know. God knows, mate.
Oh, the fear.
The fear. I don't know.
I think we're all laughing with fear.
The thing is, he makes us laugh. It's a freaking game. If you don't want to do it, just turn it off and go and do something else. It's not the end of the world, is it? You know, no one's making you sit there in front of that screen.
Yeah,
exactly.
The only thing that's keeping you in front of your screen is your ego, okay, and boredom in real life. There's nothing else. So
the sunk cost fallacy too.
Battle pirates with hook in your mouth as well.
Well, yeah, but that's just that's the whole idea of it, isn't it? So
good old Skinner boxes.
Definitely. Right. Okay, we're going to wrap there, guys. I think there will be an after show if you want one. Okay, then, so we'll put the link out again. Please feel free to join us. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to the 86 people that stayed to the end. That's good news. Yes, right. Tuesday will be interesting. Okay, then. And by Thursday, the page will probably blow up and people will be angry about everything as ever. All I'll just say is we're going to streamline all the rants and that sort of stuff, and we'll put it into a sensible, combined sort of like condensed post and that sort of stuff. So if you find something's been deleted, there'll be a reason for it. Okay, then. We won't tell you what the reason is, but there'll be one. Okay. And if obviously something is really ridiculous, then obviously on your behalf we will post that directly to Kix, and we'll see what sort of responses we get. We may not feed it back to you, but if you do see a change in the game, we may have had a large or a small part to do with it. Anyway, good night all, and thanks for tuning in. Take care.
Have a good night,
everyone.
Good night.
Good night all, and good luck.
Ban George.